This first screen is our businesses, the CNC Feeds, and then K2 Red Angus, and our family is also part of Wyoming Pure Natural Beef, where we direct market beef, and we've been doing that for about 18 or more years, and we do about 200 head a year in that program. Let's see. Okay, I have a few pictures here to start with, and that is mainly to show you the kind of terrain. I mean, we all run in different situations, so this is the kind of terrain we're going to be talking about when I tell you how we use our AgriBest products. This is our yearling heifers and our yearling bulls, so you can see at times there's more rocks than grass. Sometimes there's pretty decent grass. Pairs on summer pasture. This shows the two extremes where we run. Some nice flat country, and then the mountains you see there, literally we can't even get tubs up there, so that's where we use bag mineral. It's horse or ATV, and then you hope you don't tip over if you got too much weight in the back. This is another one of our highest summer pastures. I think you can see the two red cows in the middle grazing up in there. So we put these products to pretty good use. This is winter range. So I'll talk a lot about how we use them in the winter. And you see on that rim country, there's some more breaks, and that's where we like the cattle to go, is up in those breaks for the winter. And part of our program I'll talk about is we just flat out don't want to draw those cattle out by feeding them. Moving into how we use the products. We have a spring calving herd and a summer calving herd. A big part of the reason we have our herd broke up that way is because of pasture. Those mountain pastures you see, we want to be calved and have our AI cycle in. We'll turn a bull up there, but we want at least our AI breeding done before those cattle go up in those mountains. And then the lower country where the breaks are, you know, it's great to calve in May. So that's the main reason we do that. We have a year-round plan in place on pretty much what products we're going to use for which cattle and when we're going to do it. That can vary a little with different things going on, but we pretty much know what we're going to do with those cattle. There's not a big, oh my gosh, it's winter, what are we going to do? So the spring calving herd for the summer gets Minex Pro with garlic and Redmond salt, typically without garlic. We usually use garlic in one product, but not two. The different thing we had there was the summer of 2023, we had a record fly problem in our area and for quite a ways around us into the states around us. So we doubled up our garlic. We did the Minex Pro with garlic, the loose mineral, and the loose garlic salt, along with some Redmond garlic blocks. And we did feel that our cattle did quite a bit better on their behavior and their activity regarding the flies than cattle without it. It was still the worst we've seen, even with the garlic, but we still felt our cattle did better than the other ones we'd see, you know, going along the roads or helping people out that did not have access to that. In the winter, we switched to the SweetPro tubs. The FM20s is typically what we use on the main cow herd. And we use the Redmond salt with garlic. We'll use that both loose and in blocks, depending on where the cattle are. We have quit pouring our cattle for lice. 2 years ago, we started with one group. So I'd say everything has spent 2 years of not getting poured for lice. And they keep their hair better than they ever did throughout the winter when we did pour. And we tried every product I could find. Winter on our spring calving, it depends a little bit on those. We have to bring them up closer to our pens and stuff when we calve. So there the forage can get short. And if the forage gets short in availability and we have to feed hay, we'll switch them to the Minex Pro, the loose mineral, instead of the tubs, because they're getting quite a bit of protein in that alfalfa hay. The summer calving herd, in a way, they're my favorite. for their low cost and low labor. They calve May 15th through June. In the summer, we do the loose Minrex Pro with garlic and the Redmond salt. Again, this year we doubled up on our garlic, or what we call doubling up. And those cattle actually did pretty well. They were getting bred during the biggest fly rush we've ever had in this area, and cattle like to bunch up. So you'll see later, we believe that worked pretty well. Mid-November, we start feeding tubs, and that's because down there, they are way out in the middle of nowhere. And we like to get those calves, give them a little boost. We're looking at, late November weaning. So it's starting to get cold. They're starting to get hairy, getting ready for winter. The cows are getting pulled down. So we'll put tubs out, Redmond salt always, and it's Redmond salt with garlic pretty much all the time with us. Then at weaning, those calves are used to those tubs, and we'll throw them on some cattle candy. From then on, that summer herd, they go up in that rim country I showed you and up in those breaks, and they get SweetPro tubs, the FM20s, and garlic salt. That is all they get through April. Unless one time we had 36 inches of snow and it took us about 7 days to get to them, and we did feed them some hay. But basically, we don't want to draw them out of that shelter. We don't want to bring them down to feed. It takes too much hay to even get to them. So typically those cows live on tubs. And what we do is we figure 7 days worth. We put out 7 days worth at a time. That's all they get. The space feeding program, they get another set of tubs. Right now it's 6 tubs a week that particular one of the groups is getting. And they do quite well. Really good coming out of the winter. We try to not feed any hay or any other supplements in there unless, like I said, if they get snowed under, record snows is the only time we get involved with this herd feeding them. Like I said, the calves that we need, we do a little different on the spring and summer calves. Spring calves will use Defender, and the summer calves will use the cattle candy with stress and garlic. It's just a little bit different situation. A pen situation versus still being out on pasture with cattle candy is where we use that. Yearling bulls and yearling heifers, we find we like the 16 tubs, and we'll use the tubs with the garlic salt, or again, if we start feeding cake, which we like to feed our bulls some distiller's cake when they're on that really dry into summer grass, and then we're needing to get them ready for a February still. They're coming up on 18-month-old bulls. When we do that, we switch back to the loose mineral, the Minrex Pro with garlic, and the Redmond salt for them. So a couple of things I like about this is we have a pretty consistent year-round program. We switch up the products a little bit, but we're getting consistent quality nutrients. We have a plan in place for the whole year. We're not worried about not having what we need in stock. I used to kind of go get mineral by the truckload, and I'd price something and I get something different, or I'd price my tubs and we'd use different tubs, different years, and we didn't see near as good of results as we're getting now. And I said earlier, we're in between our 4th and 5th year of using these products. Space feeding is something I really like. It's where you put out, you all probably know this, but where you put out enough tubs for that cow to get about a pound of head a day, what she's supposed to get, and no more. I was skeptical of this. It kind of goes against some of the things I've learned from nutrition all these years about supposedly you need protein every 3 days and energy every day. But I guess it's the complex carbohydrates are a big reason this works. Like I said, most of you know this, but I have just been so pleased with how well it really does work. Those summer cows especially have come out, they have a rough life and a rough winter, and they come out of there looking far better. And I'd say 1.5 at least condition scores better than basically the same program, just on a molasses-based tub. Let's see, So part of what we like about this is the less labor and less feed. We do not mind giving our cattle quality vitamins, minerals, the nutrients they need. We want that, but we also want a low cost and less feed herd. This kind of goes against some registered herds. Sometimes seed stock producers, they think they can give their cattle more feed and more pampering because they've got these valuable cattle and they got to raise these big bull calves. Well, our idea and our philosophy is kind of the opposite of that. We think if anything, our cattle need to be stressed more. They need to have less inputs and still be able to do all the things we want them to do, breed back, raise a calf that's a good percentage of their body weight. And these products really help us do that with those registered cattle and not be one of those herds that just has to keep pumping feed into them to get those genetics to work. We think this is better for our customers because they aren't going to be able to do that with their cattle. They need cattle that can make it with less input cost. So we show how that can be done. We get the genetics that can work it, but that's a pretty big deal for us. And these products really help us with that. This year, one of the things I'd like to say about this program that I've ran through for you is I have heard so many things about bad pregnancy rates in all the states around us and Wyoming. I was at Range Beef Cow Symposium in December, and our area averaged 15 to 20% opens, which is actually better than a lot of examples I have heard. Our spring calving herd, all ages, was 3% open. Our summer calving herd was 5% open. We have a 50 to 60-day breeding period, no longer. All age groups are included. We did not have any problems with our coming threes, yearling heifers, even the old cows. We never feed to breed, so we don't give them. I know it's, and again, specifically in the seed stock industry, I've heard of people that'll, give them corn or hay or all distiller's cake, lots of different varieties to get them to breed. We don't ever do that. So it's our year-round program of tubs and mineral from SweetPro and the Redmond salt that is getting us here, and that's all. Basically what we had is on a really bad year with no more inputs, we had just as good a conception as we always get, maybe a little on the better side, but it's pretty much standard for us. When a lot of people drop theirs off, we had a rough winter. We actually had a lot of grass this summer, but those cows came out of winter pretty bad for some people. And I think that just says a lot. Just using the same stuff we had used on a rougher year, we had the same results, maybe a little better, but we didn't lose anything.